Hey, what's up, guys? Different type of intro today. As you guys know, I recently came back to YouTube, and I know how the algorithm on here can be. So, if you missed the first Fordham video a couple days back, I have playlists in my descriptions in every video, so go get caught up if you haven't seen that video yet. In that video, I kind of just glossed over my return to YouTube, and I felt like you guys deserve more than that. I know it's not really my thing to come on camera, but I decided to, come face to face with you guys to let you know. Thank you for your patience with me. I'm super grateful that you guys are still here, and your support means everything, and the comments and the buzz and the love. It just kind of reminded me how much I love doing YouTube and providing videos for you guys and getting on these journeys together. So thank you so much for the support, the feedback, and I'm so glad to see every one of you back. So appreciate that, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode today, and remember, go Rams. What's up, everyone? My name is College Sports Revived, and I welcome you back to the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring Coach Carter's Fordham Rams. Fresh off an up and down episode last time out, the Rams now sit at 8-2 here in Season 5. We were dealt an ugly loss from one of our rivals, the Hofstra Pride, but then responded by beating another one of our rivals, the Syracuse Orange, which was very cathartic indeed. After the buzzer-beating loss, they handed us back in the NCAA tournament in Season 4. And since we're just getting back into the series, I think it's a good time to refresh our minds with where we're at, especially since we'll be facing off against two top 20 teams in the country this episode and potentially two first-round picks in this year's NBA draft. First two games of the season, they went off without a hitch, two 20-point wins, including our starting forward Bennett Pincala playing his younger brother Daywin, who starts over in St. Francis, Brooklyn. Our preseason tournament in Maui resulted in a 2-1 record for Fordham, with Kai Hendry starring, dropping 63 points combined in the three-game bracket. The schedule then softened up before meeting two of our biggest rivals. We beat Hofstra in our gym last year, but not without a fight breaking out, which might have pumped them up for this year because they embarrassed us in their gym last episode. But then we got the last laugh on Syracuse, who shattered our March Madness dreams a year ago. A simmed win against Stony Brook has us where we are at the moment, 8 wins, 2 losses, and hungry for more as we end off non-conference play against two tough opponents. And the first of those two opponents will be the Providence Friars, as Kim English, the new coach, he took over for Ed Cooley this season in real life, and it looks like he has them firing on all cylinders in the virtual college basketball landscape as well, soaring to 10th in the country at the moment, with their only loss coming on a buzzer beater to the Duke Blue Devils. Check out some of these scoring totals though. They've put up 100, 89, 85, 89 again. This group can put up points in bunches, resulting in the top offense in the country at over 81 points a game, and also the top scorer in all of Division 1 at the moment. Shane Devine, who is likely to have an NBA future obviously, has put up a mind-boggling 30 points a night through the first 9 games of the season, and will be a headache no doubt for our defense as we try to figure out how to slow him down. Fordham's sitting at 8-2 on the season currently, with some impressive wins to boot, and I don't want to get ahead of myself by saying this, but knocking off a top 10 team, the nation's leading offense, and its top scorer on the road, I might add, might be what we need to crack the top 25 for the first time ever in Coach Carter's extensive Legacy Mode series, making this an even bigger game. I don't want to add more pressure onto our group, but we're starting to get to that conversation now where we could become a top 25 team if we keep playing how we've been playing. And to be honest, I've also had enough of seeing Syracuse. I want to see another Big East team. I'm fine about having a little bit of a break from the Orange. I've seen them plenty over the last 2 seasons of this series. Just too much blood pressure going up against those guys. Win or loss, it seems like they always make it stressful on us. Let's see if we can score a different win against a different Big East opponent, this time against the 10th ranked Providence Friars. 8 wins for both of these teams, and a top 10 ranking for the Friars, as Pat Park is the first Fordham Ram to score and quiet down the Dunkin' Donuts Center a little bit with that nice take to the cup. We were in a 4-point hole, but here comes Pat Park with 4 consecutive points on his own. This is Kalu Tassin kicking it back out to Jackson Zachary, the starting point guard for the Providence Friars. No good, but it's going to be a challenge keeping this man off the stat sheet, whether that be scoring or the glass. Look at this. You could paint a mural off of that rebound right there. Soars up over 4 maroon jerseys. Shane Devine, a 6'11 senior from Burlington, Vermont. This guy is a jack of all trades on the offensive end. We're going to have to hopefully let him beat us from outside. He's only got 5 makes from three-point land this year. Let's try to keep him out of the paints and try to keep him under the 30 points per game mark that he's been putting up on his senior year. 11 minutes to play here in the first half. Here we go again. Same song and dance. He will gladly live above the rim if we continue to give him that opportunity. He just bounces right out of the gym. Not too many guys you'll see like him as long as you watch college basketball. Finally a stop on defense though as we look to quiet down this crowd. We got to keep that 6-man meter out of the red shade as much as we can. This place is rocking. Look at the student section in the background. Damian Carter though, the coach's kid, has something to say about that. Damian Carter continues to play well from 3 and play well against Big East competition as a whole. He almost had a double-double last episode against Syracuse, albeit he did have a tough defensive day, which is unlike him, but we'll get back to that later on. This time it's Dustin Black out on the break trying to make something happen as he checks in along with Nick Jallo and Junior Battle, but no good there as we've hit a bit of an offensive wall. We're down to 7 minutes left to go here in the first half, but guess who breaks the cold rut for both teams? Shane Devine yet again. 15-11, Providence on top. This is Gilbert, the backup point guard, no good, but now it's Johnny Simons inside, and he misses a bunny. 6th rebound already for Lloyd Hicks. That's a ton of rebounds here in the first half already, and goes to show you how many missed shots there's been in this game already. And the ball reversal goes to Timo Cruz, cold and off the bench. Doesn't matter, this kid can be a microwave whenever you need him. One of the many Richmond boys that have come to play for Coach Carter here at the next level. 5:46 left to go. We're keeping pace despite the offensive adversity with one of the best teams from the Big East Conference. And how about this design post-up play for Lloyd Hicks? Finally, he's in the score column as well. It's only his 2nd field goal attempt on the game. I know they have a lot of height inside, but we got to get him some more looks. Here we go with Junior Battle, top of the key. He's got a mismatch, puts his shoulder into Jackson Zachary, kick it out. How about Dustin Black, the senior team captain? Yes, sir. Not the flashiest player, not the best player, not the most athletic, but Dustin Black, he just shows up time and time again. You ask him to get something done, and boom, he delivers, man. Rock solid 6'4" backup point guard. Our first ever recruit in the series continues to play at a high level. But how about this feed? That's a high IQ play right there by Shane Devine. Post up from the elbow, kicks it out to Kalu Tassin, a 6'7" sophomore, who knocks that one down. How about this, though? Talk about intelligence on the offensive end. Junior Battle comes soaring in for the weak side tip-in. No checkouts. Oh, man. Coach Kim English has to be beside himself. You can't allow a backup center like that to, just have an easy path to a tip-in. Me personally, though, that's my favorite play in basketball, and Junior Battle has earned himself some extra run here just because of that right there. He finds himself out on the court with less than 3 minutes left to go. We get a stop here. 8th rebound by Lloyd Hicks, and look at this, Kaya Hendry trying to extend the lead as he knifes through the transition defense by the Friars, but not after a pretty borderline flagrant foul by Kalu Tassin. And it felt like he had a little bit of frustration behind that one. Providence has been trailing for a couple minutes now, and you can see in the body language, this #1 ranked offense in the country struggling to even reach 20 in the first half. That would have anybody frustrated. And you could tell by that foul, that's exactly how this group is feeling. They're starting to press a little bit. Shane Devine, yeah, we'll live with that. He can stay out there and take perimeter jump shots all day long. This Big East opponent just not looking themselves here at home. And it's yet another basket for Fordham and another transition field goal for Kaya Hendry and company. That's what we're talking about. Outplaying Providence in many different facets of the game. And we're threatening a double-digit lead before the end of the break. Wow, how about this? And now Junior Battle continues to play well, grabs his 5th rebound off of a missed free throw. Just in all assets, this offense has not come to play. Speaking of that, on offense, we've come to play. Damian Carter, no resistance there to the rim, and somehow the Fordham Rams lead the 10th ranked team in the country by a difference of 10. And that's also not the only time the number 10 is important. We're also outpacing them on the glass by 10 as well. So that number 10 has just been, a big storyline in this game. We're holding Shane Devine under 10 in the first half, and Lloyd Hicks has almost grabbed 10 rebounds on his own. So the number 10, a big staple in this one for the Fordham Rams, but we got to keep this pressure on, got to keep going. Here we go. We can't let up an inch, and we don't here on the first possession. Kaya Hendry and Pat Park double teaming a poor Providence Friar on the baseline. They get a run out opportunity, and Pat Park is the first player out on the court for either team in double figures. 11-point advantage for the Fordham Rams. 11:30 to go in the game. Jackson Zachary meets a wall, and we are just swarming everywhere. How about Bennett Pincala ripping it away from Kamal Sayman? Their starting four, who was all defense NCAA last year. Yep. How about Bennett Pincala wanting to hear none of that? Goes coast to coast just like Lloyd Hicks did in the last episode. I'm sure you guys remember that. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. And look at the face of Bennett Pincala. He's like, this is the 10th ranked team in the country? This is all they got? Oh my goodness. A 7-point advantage still as some reserves check in. Kaya Hendry, nice play there, putting the ball on the deck, knifing his way inside, but it's taken away by Javon Pollock. That's been the one thing that Fordham has done too much of today as... Oh, okay. All right. That looked like a bit of a walk there by Johnny Simons, but he gets the layup to fall, and the lead is down to 5. But that has been the one part of Fordham's attack today that has just not gone according to plan. Too many turnovers. Even with 31 points scored and leading Providence by 10, they had 7 turnovers at the half versus them having 0. So this is definitely something they need to clean up going forward. Nicely done there on the up and under move, going high to low. Junior Battle's been playing a really quietly good game off the bench, setting up Lloyd Hicks there for points 5 and 6 as he looks to get it going. Only 3 for 8 shooting for our big 7-footer inside, but Kalu Tassin starting to shake off the rust, and Providence's offense has kicked it back into that high gear that everyone knows of them. So now we're approaching 3 minutes to play. They've slowly chipped away at this lead, and I think people sometimes underestimate how tough it is to play with a big lead early on in a game. As Kaya Hendry, who's really struggled here in the second half, I don't think I've said his name yet here in the second half, outside of maybe a steal, but that's about it. 3 minutes to go here, and the lead is down to 1. Mismatch inside. Shane Devine, 18 points. No chance for our point guard Damian Carter, who struggled on defense last episode, and he struggles to close down the interior, but I mean, a foot of difference of height plus the nation's leading scorer, can't ask him to do much in that situation. Now here's Javon Pollock from the elbow, no good. Shane Devine for yet another rim rattling finish. He's at 20, and Providence is back within 1, and this place is starting to rock again. 6-man meter to the max, 1:45 to go. Can Fordham find a way to win? That's so important for teams that consider themselves elite. They find ways to win, but that's a tough one there. 3-on-2 for the Friars. They try to take the lead, but just too short. It's Javon Pollock missing, and Pat Park pulling in transition to no avail. Such a high IQ player. That's not really the shot we were looking for there. Pat Park with a rare mistake there. 1:15 left to go in the ball game. Sayman to Tassin, cut off on the baseline. Pat Park trying to make amends for that bad shot selection there. Trying to close out on Kalu Tassin to no avail. His third 3 of the second half, and Providence leads for the first time since 7 minutes to go in the first half. A 2-point lead after a timeout. We're inbounding underneath our own basket. 50 seconds left to go. What does Coach Carter's boys have under the hood to try to tie or take this lead? 42 seconds. Shot clock at 14. Back in the hands of Damian. He looks to the low post. It's Lloyd Hicks who draws the foul on Kamal Sayman. Rotating over too early, and the defensive extraordinaire gets tacked for the foul. Lloyd Hicks, a 60% free throw shooter on the year, needs both to tie, and the first one is nothing but net. Hicks, 60%, not terrible from a 7-footer, although we'd like to see him improve that more. But sometimes in these situations, guys just step up no matter their percentage, and that's exactly what the 7'1" beast from Montgomery, Alabama does in this situation. 52-52, all marbles here on the line with 24 seconds left. Although that does put Fordham in a tough situation. It's either overtime or they lose because there's less than a 1 second difference between the two game clocks. 12 seconds to go. Saman back to Zachary. He tries to drive. Help comes. Kick out to Kalu. Tassin for 3, and it goes! Off the front iron and in. He knocks it down. 4 seconds left. Coach Carter's boys. Last chance today. Kai Hendry for overtime. And it's off the mark. And the Fordham Rams fall by 3 to the 10th ranked team in the country. Oh my goodness. Sometimes the game of basketball can be so unfair. It's been under a year of in-game time since Syracuse hit that corner 3 to beat us in March Madness. And now 9 months later, another Big East school survives an upset-hungry Fordham team thanks to a corner buzzer beater. And unfortunately, it's deja vu for Pat Park, who surrendered not only this shot, but the Syracuse shot a year ago as well. Gotta feel bad for the sophomore, who's such a classy player and such a pleasure to coach every night. Tonight, we just didn't have quite enough. We needed one less turnover or one more 3 to go down, just one play away from beating the Providence Friars. We've gotten really good at both those things, but we just didn't protect the ball. 11 giveaways is too much compared to only 4 for the Friars, and we didn't shoot how we know this team is capable. It's true that Providence didn't show their typical offensive firepower as well, but when that happens, it's normally talent that triumphs all, and the nation's leading scorer dropping 20 was the difference. Saw some really nice performances there though. Yet again, Damian Carter played excellent against an elite opponent, and Junior Battle, really good day off the bench. I thought maybe it was his best game of his career against Providence. No time to sulk, however. It was a really tough Providence team that we almost beat, so let's try to use this St. Peter's game as a get-right game. This should be a win. We won't have to worry about any heroics, any Doug Edert craziness with this Peacocks team. If you know, you know.
By Wheeler. Edert. Kaboom! A 3! 1 point lead. St. Peter's. 1:18 to play.
Yeah, luckily we avoided any insanity at home against the Peacocks. We tallied our 9th win on season 5, but it was only by 8 points, and they were in it the entire way. Again, Fordham fails to crack the 60-point mark, featuring tough days from Hicks, Pincala, and Pat Park. It's definitely not time to panic, but it's something to keep in mind because I'm afraid we might be letting that heartbreaker trickle down the line. Some recruiting news to note before our final non-conference game of the season. We still have a comfortable lead on Melvin Brewer. There's nothing to worry about there, as our first ever 5-star in the series continues to look more like a reality by the day, but Lucian Jedic, the 5-star JUCO forward, is looking less likely. He's starting to really like Miami, and I can't blame him. Unless you're a Kentucky or a Kansas or a Villanova, it's hard to sell to anyone to play so far from home. We're going to keep our offer to Jedic intact, but we'll simultaneously offer 4-star Tarek Porter, who I haven't offered yet just because I've been waiting for Jedic to sign. He didn't in the regular season. He's going to have to wait till the offseason, so I figured since we're going to wait anyway, as a backup plan, we'll offer Porter. He's a Philly kid just like Pat Park, and while he doesn't have the superstar upside as Lucian, he is a guy who can play in any system. He's a little undersized, but he makes up for it with his all-around arsenal. He also doesn't mind not playing right away, which is good because Bennett Pincala still has 1 more year of ball to play, so he can be our 6th or 7th man, and I won't have to worry about him transferring. We have a secure lead on him as well. Have our 2 top 25 matchups for the price of 1. That's right, guys. We're ending up the non-conference slate with a quick West Coast trip to Malibu to face a rising Pepperdine squad. The Waves were the Cinderella story of the series in year 4, reaching the Elite 8 as an 11th seed. This led to the old coach taking the Syracuse job after Jim Boeheim retired in the series, and Coach Fall stepping into the head of the program, the same coach that took over for Coach Carter at UT Martin when he left for Fordham. And while he didn't quite outdo us there, he had a pretty nice run in relief of Coach Carter, reaching the tournament a few times back at UT Martin himself. Man, I just love the coaching carousel in this game. We've been game planning all week on how to slow down NBA prospect David Adjacent, a 6'7", 250-pound all-around threat. He's coming off first-team all-conference selection, just no holes to his game at all, and the West Coast Conference continues to quietly put out some NBA talent recently. He's an elite defender as well, so Pat Park will be tested on both ends tonight, and that trickles down to the rest of the roster as well. This is an elite defensive unit, and Fordham is coming off 2 tough shooting games, not breaking 60 in either of them, so it's going to be a tough task to turn it around against the 16th ranked team in the land and one of the best defenses we're going to see all season long. And the calendar nears on a new calendar year here in the virtual world. Not a bad way to spend a couple days. Instead of being in the dog days of winter back in New York City, we're out in Malibu, less than an hour away from LA. And how about a punch in the mouth to the Pepperdine Waves on our first possession, less than 10 seconds into the game. And we come out firing and ripping a 3 home thanks to Kai Hendry, trying to battle back after our offensive woes. And Pat Park, he's tested and he passes the first test against David Adjacent, pick in his pocket, and that allows Damian Carter to get to the rim. He can't finish, but Pat Park doing it all. A steal, a rebound, and a basket on his first opportunity to make impact on this game. 9-8 Fordham here in the early goings. Elbow jumper doesn't go from Damian Carter, and Fabian Oakes gives it off to David Adjacent, who misses yet again, this time point blank, but I can't blame him. Pat Park draped all over the 6'7" senior, and how about Lloyd Hicks stepping it out from 15 feet? This isn't the first time we've seen him do this. If he can add a 15-foot jumper to his game, I mean, I don't know how defenses are going to try to stop him. Pat Park, Lloyd Hicks, Kai Hendry, the 3 leading scorers on this season, all averaging at least 13.5 points per game, and they're all getting it done here in the early goings of this game, as Pat Park, he was harassing David Adjacent on that play, but eventually a player of his caliber, he's going to get the one up on you eventually. The deflection goes right to him, and he knocks down the triple. The Waves enjoy their first lead of the game, but not for long, as Dustin Black gets it done from the deep corner. Junior battle. Great job finding the soft spot in the zone, and when you can get the ball to the middle against the 2-3, you can beat it more often than not, which results in the Waves going back to man-to-man. And look at this pass. Dustin Black, what vision by the 6'4" senior from Scranton right there. 2 guys surrounded him, and yet he still found the angle to get it into Nick Jallo, the Oregon State transfer. It must be nice for Nick Jallo finally getting some time in front of friends and family. I'm sure it's not easy to play in front of your close ones whenever you're all the way out in New York City, but he's back here on the West Coast in South Cal, and he gets a bucket for his family and friends there. Meanwhile, Chen Li, a 3-point play for the China-born big man. I actually forgot about this since it's been so long I haven't been on YouTube, but Chen Li actually was dealing with an injury when we came back last episode. This is his first game back in the lineup, and he makes a statement there with a 3-point play. Welcome back, Chen Li. But on the next possession, Gerard Sims closes the door on Lloyd Hicks, and we don't often see guys challenge him at the rim. Meanwhile, on the other end, David Adjacent jumping out of the gym to build a 4-point lead for Pepperdine. I'm telling you, man, the West Coast Conference, even outside of Gonzaga, they've quietly pumped out some NBA talent. David Adjacent could join the likes of Brendan Pajemski on Golden State. He was the 19th pick in the draft last year. Jalen Williams on OKC is having a great career already in real life. How about this, though? Not much defensive resistance on the break right there. Pat Park for a layup to cut it to 2. Coach Falls calling a timeout there after Fordham basically ran a 3-man weave against their full court man D, but right off the timeout, it continues as Damian Carter gets a steal and an assist to Junior Battle, who continues to have a really inviting episode. He's earned some minutes here at the end of the first half in this game as the Waves go back to a zone. Pat Park cut off on the baseline, 5 to shoot. Battle, Damian Carter tries to get into the paint, bounce pass, Battle, 15 feet away, and he hits nothing but net. The 6th assist for the team's leading passer Damian Carter, 5 assists a game averaged on his sophomore year. And how about the meteoric rise this episode by Junior Battle, who yet again enjoys another nice game here in South Cal. 36-34, the offense is back for Fordham. Lloyd Hicks, near double-double. We've had some nice performances from him, from Pat Park, Damian Carter, passing the ball really well, even though he doesn't have a field goal yet. The only guy who's a little bit slacking is Kaya Hendry. Yet again, he hasn't really done a lot on offense, but he's still passing and playing good defense. So I think we're back to normal. I don't think we needed to panic after the St. Peter's game. I think we're good to go, and we have yet another top 25 team on the ropes on the road. David Jason, though, coming right out of the break, and somehow with the finger roll, man. I mean, there's just some times where good offense just triumphs good defense. Pat Park did everything right there, but David Jason now up to 11 points on the game. 13:33 left to go. Pepperdine looking for their first lead of the second half. This is Gary Alati, who's normally a defense-first player, trying to assist Jason, but it's Pat Park who gets a piece of the shot, and Junior Battle busts his butt to go the full length of the court, and Kai Hendry, who continues to see the floor well today, rewards the big man for running and going coast to coast. I love it. Kai Hendry tries to step it back here, though, but unfortunately, the passing just has not translated to shooting success. He does stop the break, though, with Damian Carter, so hopefully we can at least get the stop. It's a mismatch inside on Kennedy Cortez, who will find Gary Alati for his second tray ball of the game. A defense-first player who's had a nice game off the bench. Pepperdine, are they slowly starting to find a way to separate themselves from their adversary? Well, here we go. We're under 8 minutes to play. Fordham only has a few field goals since the break in action. How about Bennett Pincala muscling his way through the paint? You don't often see him put the ball on the deck and go get a basket, but that's exactly what the Brooklyn native had in mind there, and it couldn't have worked any better. But the free throws have to get better for this team. We're just under 72% from the line this season. That's down from any other season of this series. Coach Carter has to recruit some better free throw shooters, that's for sure, because that's been on a downward trend since we started this series. 51-47, Dustin Black checks in, looking inside. Somehow he finds the angle to get it inside to Lloyd Hicks, who is one field goal away from yet another double-double on his sophomore year. I'm going to have to go back and tally how many he has, because he's got to be breaking some type of school record with these double-doubles. And how about this? Junior Battle! Right place, right time yet again. The deflection was caused by Nick Jallo, and all Junior Battle had to do was grab it, explode, and finish with a two-handed flush. Fordham back out on top. Oaks for 3. Can't get the rim to do him any favors there. And Dustin Black checks out nicely on the boards right here. And we have a pretty odd lineup in that has given us the lead back. How about this? We go high to low, and Pat Park challenges multiple wave defenders inside, but he gets it to drop. And a nice run by Fordham has been all thanks to this pretty obscure lineup Coach Carter has been running with for these last couple minutes. Pat Park, Dustin Black, Nick Jallo, Bennett Pincala, and Junior Battle have been the 5 on the floor, and they keep getting it done. They keep scoring. That basket will count as Corey Radabaugh gets tacked for the goaltend. Timeout, Coach Falls for Pepperdine, and these 5 guys, I don't think I've seen this lineup play together all year long, but they come together against the 16th ranked team in the country and have given Fordham a 5-point lead with 2:33 left to go. And even with the timeout, Coach Carter not wanting to mess with the integrity of what's been working, he only subs back in Lloyd Hicks as Corey Radabaugh, a 6'8" forward who is not a three-point shooter, jacks one up there as Pepperdine. Their offensive sets have gone completely cold. It's almost like they haven't been playing from behind all season long, so they don't know how to play from behind. They don't know what to do as this league continues to grow. They only have 1 loss on the year, and they haven't allowed over 60 points since they played and beat Syracuse over a month ago. Another 3 is jacked up without a second thought and missed, as the shot selection of the Waves continues to go from bad to worse here down the stretch. And Dustin Black finishes this game on a high note with a 3-point play for our team captain. Oh man, what a win here on the West Coast. It was back and forth all game long. I was actually sweating hard when I was playing this game, especially when we went down 6-7 with only a couple minutes left to go. But a 71-58 win does not tell you how close this game was, but we just outlasted Pepperdine with that pretty, unsubstantiated lineup that we haven't really ever used of Pat Park, Junior Battle, Dustin Black, Nick Jallo, and Bennett Pincalo. We just rode the hot hands there at the end, and we had a nice run with that 5 on the floor, and we were able to get it done today. Dustin Black 11-3, Lloyd Hicks 13-15, Pat Park with 15 himself, 7 assists from Damian Carter, great game from him, and yet again Junior Battle 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. The meteoric rise of the backup center has been a huge storyline throughout this entire episode. And Pepperdine has been in the lead so much this year. They've been winning so many games. It looked like they didn't know how to play from behind and started taking bad shots there, which left the door open for Fordham to take this game at the end. David Jason, 15 points, but on 14 shots. Great game from Pat Park on both ends. So next episode, we will be opening up conference play. A10 play. All what we've done out of conference gets wiped clean, and everyone's basically 0-0 again. We'll be opening up against St. Bonaventure, which we should be favored in that game, but things quickly heat up for Fordham, as then we have to go play Temple, George Washington, St. Joe's, and then St. Louis, who was just the number 2 team in the country to begin this episode not too long ago. They lost a couple games to now, I believe. Let's see, we're looking at the media poll right here. Are they in the teens? No, they're in the 20s now. I think 23rd, 24th now. But we're going to be facing St. Louis soon, along with some of the other guys at the cream of the crop here in the A10 throughout this entire series. I had a lot of fun making this episode today, guys. Hope you guys know I'm back. If you missed the last episode, this is my second episode I made since I've returned to YouTube. Check the link in the description to find the playlist of the Fordham Rams Legacy Mode series and all of the series I've done throughout my YouTube career. That's always going to be in the description. Go check out the previous episode if you missed it. But when it's all said and done, this has been episode 53 of the Coach Carter College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series. Had a blast making this one. A nice win to close out non-conference game play against Pepperdine. And we enter conference play at 11-3. I'm ready to take down St. Bonaventure next episode. So if you enjoyed, that's all that matters to me, man. It's good to be back, guys. Trying to get into a flow of YouTube again. And yeah, I'm glad you joined me today. Fordham Rams basketball's back, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. This is College Sports Revived signing out, and I will see you guys later.